left it as a commission inspector level, then came back, and he's now currently an assistant commissioner.
And in that gap between his time,
He was Daniel Andrews' staff officer.
Surely that's a conflict of interest if you're supposed to have a separation of power.
Well, in my view, absolutely.
I'm Yemini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia, here at the police headquarters, where I'm just about to interview a 35-year veteran who left the force just a couple of months ago. He's here today to break his silence on what he says is a force that is self-destructing.
Yeah, obviously left on the 23rd of December last year, or 22nd of December last year.
35 years you served in Victoria Police.
Correct.
Can you tell us, do you see a difference between 1989 Vic Pol and 2023?
Oh, massively. Today doesn't represent what I entered into back in those years.
In what way?
I guess when I joined, it was a bit like, I referred to it being a bit like cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians. There was a really strong camaraderie, brotherhood, sisterhood within the organisation. In the latter years, that's been dismantled. It's been taken away. There's no loyalty. There's no camaraderie. It's just you're a robot. You're coming in to do your shift, and then you're out the door.
Was the culture then better at enforcing the law, or was it just better for police on the force?
Oh, look, I think at both ends, and I honestly believe back then that people had the public devoted confidence that they knew that if they were in trouble, that we would respond and that we would take appropriate or affirmative action, and that's certainly bygones to what we face today.
COVID. How do you think Victoria Police handled COVID?
Look, I think it could have been handled a lot better. I think it's done irreparable damage in relation to the public's eyes. There were so many elements of that just didn't sit comfortable at the best of times, and I'm speaking for them too, because I've had this feedback constantly, and when you're being pretty much directed or dictated to by government entities, particularly in the COVID section, that was really disappointing. I absolutely feel for the community over the period. I mean, obviously, I lived in that as well, and I was probably fortunate that I was able to go to work for the lockdown, for the Ring of Seals and God knows what, but that was my life. But so yeah, at least I could get out of the house.
Do you think some officers made the police force look worse than it
Oh,
should have?
there's always elements, and that's no different in this organisation. There are heroes. There are they're loose. I would hope that the public see through that and go, yeah, there are elements, and certainly, in my view, I never condone those behaviours, and also did everything I could to hold them to account, because, once again, it's not a good look. It doesn't suit the community, and people need to be treated with respect, irrespective of who you are and what you do. As a civilian now, would have I done things differently? Absolutely. I've lost friends, long-term friends, because of my affiliation with the organisation over that period. And I've said to them, what can I say? I had no control over that. So, but this is just, this is one of the circumstances that you get thrust into.
Since COVID, we've seen Victoria Police have been trying really hard to recruit. There seems to be a recruiting issue. In fact, I don't think it's. I think it's pretty well known that there's a recruiting problem. What do you think that stems from?
Well, it's not the employer of choice, that's for sure. And I think it's really representative around the current setting where you've got such a mass exodus of senior police leaving the job.
Why is that specifically?
I think for me, I think I could broadly say that they've lost confidence in executive management.
Is it the best man for the job generally?
I say no. I can say that their policies, procedures are directly directed at a quota. They want 50-50, and they're committed to doing that.
So 50 men, 50 women.
Correct. In management, senior management. So that's not negotiable. That's the way it is. Of course, they would never say that the quota system exists, but all the policies and internal strategies all align in relation to giving women preference, and especially like selection boards and that you should consider. If not, why not? trying to present and give them opportunities in that space. And I don't have a problem with in equal rights. And I've worked with some amazing women that are so highly skilled that I would lay the red carpet down and I'd work for them without a shadow. But I question their decision-making processes around the large portions of genders quotes that are coming in at the detriment and significant detriment of members.
In what way? So why do you think it's detrimental to members that they have 50-50?
Well, I think they can manipulate a position description. They can talk it down. They can change the goalposts, if you like, around a selection process. So you'll have certain situations where the preferred applicant does not have any of the skill sets that are required for those roles, and that doesn't faze them at all. So they're prepared to put women into positions that don't have skill sets in certain spaces, and or let's just say not as experienced as say others that might have been applying for positions. And I know that that's an absolute demoralising thing in the cultural space.
So you're saying that there are well-experienced, qualified men not getting positions just to fill it with women. So on paper, Victoria Police has 50-50 in senior management.
That's right. So they're pushing their quota space at the detriment of actually experienced versus non-experienced to fulfil that target.
I'm no policing expert, but I dare say that sounds quite dangerous.
I'll leave that for your own,
Well, best man for the job, and if you're having unqualified people take positions, especially in such an organisation that, is a cornerstone of upholding the right of every citizen in the state. If they're only getting the job, they're unqualified to get the job, and the only reason why they're getting the job is because of gender. I can't come to any other conclusion, can I?
Yeah, I say, look, there are rightful selections in that space and well deserved, but I say that's at the absolute lesser end of what's occurred, what actually does occur, and and for me it is a risk. It is a risk allowing a selection to take place on a gender basis.
With regards to rank promotion, what's the average time generally?
Look, there's not really a time frame on it. I mean, you've also got to finish your probation requirements at any level.
Are they rushing through things to fill those quotas?
Oh, in my view, absolutely they are. And I'd just say that the wider membership absolutely feel that, and they see it, and they become defeated. And it causes that disjoint and that disconnect.
Through COVID especially, a lot of the public felt like there was an unhealthy relationship between the government and the police, where there is supposed to be, and we've been told time and time again, both by senior police and the government, that there is a separation of power. Do you feel like there is something true to the allegation of that unhealthy relationship?
Oh, look, the government got what it wanted. That they gave the orders, and everyone followed their line.
But not even just COVID. Is there an unhealthy relationship? I think that's where people...
I think, my personal view, and for my internal reasons, I think there is an unhealthy relationship, and I think a lot of those executive decisions are very much swayed by that relationship. And I would not be the only one to say that. I think collectively within the organisation, I think everyone's got a very firm view around that.
Well, firstly, was it like that in '89 when you joined?
No. I mean, we respected. We in those days. Once again, it's a different era, but the management and that were very supportive, and they supported and backed the members up.
And they didn't take orders from government.
Correct. They were independent. Yep.
Is there any examples now that the viewer could understand and go and look at today that would, or in the last couple of years, that you give where it demonstrates that unhealthy relationship?
you know, there's an affiliation. So you've had a current commission, this is commissioner level, who was left the job for a period of time and then went and worked directly under Daniel Andrews as his staff officer. Subsequently came back in the organisation and has marched up to where he's currently sitting.
How long have you been on the job for?
Oh, I don't know what the specifics in years, but he certainly left it as a commission inspector level, then came back and he's now currently an assistant commissioner.
And in that gap between his time,
he was Daniel Andrews staff officer.
Surely that's a conflict of interest if you're supposed to have a separation of power.
Well, in my view, absolutely. I mean, I don't think anyone would dispute that. But then look at the offshoot of it, where you've got other people that were employed within the organisation have now, in my view, infiltrated and are going selected around to these other positions. There's so many. If you look around the table, there's so many different people that have left and gone into these positions, and it seems like there's just a flow-on effect. So that reconfirms to me that there's too much political interference going on, and jobs for the boys or girls.
Sounds like jobs for girls more. Anything we didn't touch on that you think?
No, just only one thing, just around the mental health, just in relation to suicide.
Suicides with current and ex-police members.
Yep.
What does that look like at the moment?
Oh, it's out of control. Out of control.
Do you know?
Oh, I know many.
That have...
Countless. It's weekly.
And why is that?
Oh, because once again, it's the internalisms, not being supported, trauma, that all those things combined. They feel like they don't have a voice, whether they've faced a sanction or they've been dealt with, adversely by management or by their managers or supervisors or whatever it be, plus trauma. And once again, because they lose their sense of belonging, they just don't feel supported, and they're not supported, and that's a reality.
So you think that essentially the way Victoria Police has shifted has led members to leave and some to go as far as
absolutely
taking their own lives?
Absolutely. 100%.
And you know more than one?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think I can think of... maybe I know one or two people in my entire life that have taken their own lives. But
Countless.
You know countless people personally from the police force.
Yep.
That's a sad... And how long has that been happening?
Oh, that's really stepped up over probably the last, really significantly inclined into the last 5 years. Very much so.
And what are they doing about it?
Well, good question.
If you think it's important for Victorians to see what's happening to our police force in the name of, I guess, political correctness, that the quota filling is not only putting us at risk by losing the experience in our police force, but also sending officers over the edge, and the incestuous relationship between the Victoria Police and the Victorian government. Make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide, and then head over to followavi.com. Make sure to subscribe to the mailing list and follow me across all socials, just in case the platform you're watching this on right now ends up banning me for messing with the wrong power. followavi.com.